Welcome back to Thundersport GB in Southwest Wales. Here we are at Pembrey Circuit. Next action on track, the Morello Services Thundersport GP1s, Superstock Thousands and Super Twins. Michael Robertson, number 99 we've seen, and there, number 2, Peter Baker. 30 is Ian Mackman, yes, Union, and alongside him on the front row of the grid is number 21, Chris Barnes. And Chris, Steve, really this weekend, he's been a revelation. He's raced fantastically well, he's qualified well, and he's on that front row for the first time in this series.
Yes, and as they just got away there, great start for Ian Mackman, almost a little bit too much of a good start. I've got a funny feeling. I'll keep my eye on the timing screens, but there could be a penalty there. Lee Reevely, and there's a rider down. There's all sorts of things going on. The first one, that's 84, Dave Twyford, out of this race.
Oh, huge shame there for Dave, and does the marshal's work for him, picks up the bike. Oh dear. But up the front, Michael Robertson, the young Scots rider, gets the break. Peter Baker settles down into second place. There's a lot of RG in the middle of the back as they sort themselves out. Charlie Flett going through there on his Super Twin. And back of field at the moment, Steve Foster. But up the front, absolutely hammer down, it is Michael Robertson.
Yes, Michael Robertson, a revelation, as you say, this season so far. New colour scheme for this weekend at Pembrey. He's got rid of the orange, all-orange machine and reverted to the black and red. And that's Peter Baker, the 2009 GP1 champion, looking to go up the inside. A little bit further back, there's Barnes, and that's Michael Blank, 138, a newcomer to Thundersport GB.
Yeah, Michael Blank, very popular guy down there in the paddock. Good to see him there, but Chris Barnes is having an absolutely stunning weekend. He's looked so good, and well, he just loved a podium in this series. He certainly looks on the pace for it, but certainly on the pace today, very much so, is Peter Baker really hunting Michael Robertson down, Steve.
Yes, should just mention also, no Phil Crowe here, championship leader, defending champion also. Is not racing this weekend, so it's a chance for some of these guys to try and claw back that points advantage that Crowe has mustered up over the season. It's rather a large one now. I'm not sure that these guys aren't going to trip each other up, and as I mentioned that, they go side by side into Hatchets, and it's Pete Baker that now leads from Mick Robertson.
Yep, lovely battle at the front, and still Chris Barnes and Michael Blank and Ian Mackman right up there as well, and Alex Heaton, his lap times improving with every lap, so he could be closing in as well ere long. But out into the country, through the S's and out towards Brooklands goes the new leader, lovely blue white Suzuki of Peter Baker.
I can report that Ian Mackman, number 30, and number 77, Lee Reevely, Super Twins leader, both have copped 10-second jump start penalties, so no surprises there.
Right, we're going to have to keep our beady eyes on timing screens and track then, because what we see on the road is not necessarily what we're going to see for sure. It's not going to be able to see what we see in the results. There is Ian Mackman, third on the road, but on count back, that's probably going to stick him already down in 7th or 8th. We'll have to see how that goes on as the race progresses. And up the front, Peter Baker still being pursued by Michael Robertson down into the hairpin.
Yeah, Michael has been fantastic this year. He's not been to most of the circuits on the Thundersport calendar, and he's been right at the top of the standings pretty much the whole way through. The rider from Danderhall, sponsored by Carney's Auto Centre, and well, he started the weekend in 4th in the championship. He could well lift himself up into the top 3 with a couple of decent results.
Yeah, number 18 there, Tom Webb, just chasing through to Benny as Pete Baker comes back towards us once again. Just the back marker there. Yeah, Michael Robertson and of course Paul Wishart, 2 great additions to the Thundersport package this year. 2 young Scots riders with huge prospects ahead of them. It is just that geographical shame, isn't it? It's that much more expensive for the guys and girls up there across the border in Scotland to get to a lot of the circuits down south. But both Paul and Michael have made a huge impact in their various championships this year.
Yes, and the more they're at the front, the more they'll be seen on TV, which helps for sponsorship. So it's good for both Robertson and Wishart, who we'll see in the Superstock race a little bit later on. It is nice to see Peter Baker back to his form, though, because he had a disastrous start to the season, plenty of tumbles, and then from Snetterton onwards, he got back to winning ways. He took a double there, and it's all looking very good at the moment, although Robertson, who was a winner here on the Saturday race, will be eager to get past Baker and will know where he's quick and where he's slower.
Of course, twisted Michael absolutely on the giddy limit and closing slightly as they cross the line that time. But look at that, once again, that lovely shot of them snaking out the braking going down into the hairpin.
Run extremely wide there on the exit of Hatchett's hairpin, and that is maybe given Mick Robertson, known as the Flying Scotsman, a chance here.
Yes, indeed. Well, there we see Lee Reevely. Now, Lee's on a bit of a recovery run. He'll be aware, I think, of his penalty. There's Alex Heaton. Alex just getting out-fumbled there on the outside of Hatchett's. Whether Lee Reevely actually does know the penalty, I'm not sure. It's always a little difficult when they've got head down, and particularly when they're in the middle of these battles, as to know that they've got that penalty. But he's pushing as hard as he can, and he's certainly the leading super twin at the moment, as up the front, Michael Robertson, who is the leading stock 1,000 runner, is pursuing that Morello Services GP1 Suzuki of Peter Baker.
Well, one thing's for sure, even if the riders were to know of their 10-second jump start penalties, the likes of Chris Barnes, who's currently battling with Ian Mackman, won't know. So he'll just be trying to get past as quickly as possible. Peter Baker there, number 2. He's managed to break away now from Michael Robertson. And on this last lap, it's looking like it's going to be a 3rd win of the season for Mr. Baker.
Yeah, charges up there through to Benny. Well, I tell you what, there it is, Chris Barnes, and he has got ahead of Ian Mackman. And as you say, they will be probably unaware of that penalty. And this is, if they can hang on to this 3rd position to the checker flag, this will be the best result of the season for Chris Barnes. And I have to say, thoroughly deserved. He's looked absolutely on it for the entire weekend, and certainly he has deserved everything. I've almost dared talk about it because I do want him to get that checker flag on board. Peter Baker, meanwhile, does that thing, checker flag out, and there we see Matty giving it some air, and Pete takes his win from Michael Robertson. And it's going to be Chris Barnes that will cross in 3rd place. He does take that position. That is a fantastically well-earned result for him. Baker, Robertson and Barnes, the 1, 2, 3. Michael Blank was 4th, Ian Mackman 5th, and Alex Heaton in 6th place. On the podium then, Peter Baker between Michael Robertson and Chris Barnes. And in the stock thousands, well, Ian Mackman was 3rd, but an excellent 2nd place for Chris Barnes, and the winner, Michael Robertson. And finally in the Super Twins of Charlie Flett finished 2nd. The winner, despite his penalty, good ride from Lee Reevely.
Well, Mr. Robertson, what was your take on that one?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, from the start, I knew Pete would be there. I was looking forward to a good race, and the times were pretty quick as well. I had scrub tyres on from yesterday, so they were good for about 3-4 laps, and then started spinning up. So I was trying to adjust my riding style. But yeah, hats off to Pete. He rode a good race, and hopefully we can do the same again later.
That was excellent, good performance. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, big thanks to Carney's Auto Centre, MV Commercials, Penton Components, and Blackbird Corporate.
Excellent, well done. Well, Peter Baker, nice to have you back up here. Superb win, great race. Tell me all about it, Pete.
Yeah, fantastic race, really enjoyed that. Michael just had the beating of me yesterday, so I wanted to put that right, bearing in mind that I've been coming here for probably 17 years, and I've fair play to him, that's the first time he's been here, so I couldn't let him beat me all the time. And I did manage, in order to beat him, to go under my personal best round here, and on a 58.4. It's about half a second quicker than I'd ever been before, so I'm well pleased with that.
That is superb. I'm really pleased for you, Peter. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, I need to thank obviously all the people who supported me this year and many years in the past, and obviously Morello Roofing is my main sponsor, and he's there looking after me all the time. But I got someone down here helping me, Tony Stannard, who's helping us with the bike today. But I've got several sponsors, and I can't think of all the names at the moment, but I just thank you all very much for supporting me.
Yeah, and big thanks to Steve of Morello for supporting the class as well. Thanks very much, Peter.